Hey, what's up guys? It's Chris with Tryhard Infinity, and today we're going to be doing another Civ video, which we have not been doing any Civ videos at all. It's been a long time since we uploaded. I know, I'm sorry, I did upload about the schedule, and I was like, if we can. I know you guys are probably thinking, Chris, man, you need to stop promising these schedules. I mean, we're getting ready for them. You're not delivering. So I'm sorry, I tried to keep it up, couldn't do it. Workload became a little too stressful, and I couldn't, manage doing my workload plus doing the online videos at the same time. So that was what happened with the video. So I'm gonna try my best. I'm not gonna promise anything this time. I know you guys are like, thank God you're not about to promise. All right, but I'm not gonna promise anything in this time. But I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you guys that I will try to upload regularly as much as I can. So stay tuned. And I love that I'm seeing more subscribers. I really do. I really pay attention to all this stuff, and I appreciate the support. With the topic at hand, which is English. Now, you might be thinking, what can I tell you about the English? Well, I want to revise the statement I made. I'm not sure exactly the exact statement I made, but I believe I said something about English not being a war civ. And as I said, this is a growing channel. Mistakes are made, and that was a huge mistake. I want to tell you guys right now, the English is by far the strongest freaking civ that I have ever seen for military forces. Like, not in as in like over the time and late periods. It's because of their early domination game. It is so amazing. Like, I cannot begin to tell you guys how much of an advantage you have with the English. I never thought about it. So I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little too hyper. I'm just very excited that I finally have some time to get back and record. But let me go ahead and tell you why this civ is the best. And the reason this civ is the best is because, not because of the troop that they have, not because of their advantages. It's because of what tech they start with. And they start with the knowledge of monarchy. Now, you might be thinking, how is that really useful? Monarchy, I mean, yeah, it gives me some culture, but whoop-de-doo, culture's not gonna help me fight somebody. Well, let me tell you this. With monarchy research, guess what you need for knights? That's right, monarchy and only one other tech, and the only other tech you need to research knights is horseback. So, if you really stop and think about that, which later in the video, this is kind of a pre-recorded video, I'm going to show you guys the tech tree straight from monarchy and horseback right to knights. I'm going to show that later in the video just because I felt like this would be a better way to accurately tell you about the civ while playing it. So this video itself is just a playthrough of me playing with the civ, and I dominate within the hour. Took me a little bit to get back in the hang of playing with the English. I haven't played civ in a long time, to be honest. So it took me a little while to get back into, the hang of things. So it took me to sometime in AD, like I said, an hour gameplay to beat it on deity like always. But the reason why that is so amazing is because all you have to do with this civ is research one tech to be able to unlock knights, which is horseback. Which horseback takes 20 tech per turn. So you can imagine how easy it is to get to knights. Now, I do not remember the exact number for knights. It's somewhere in the hundreds, probably like 120 tech, which is not bad. So if you're producing 10 tech per turn, you get your horseback in 2 turns. And if it is 120, this is theoretically speaking, you can actually search the actual number yourself. But theoretically speaking, if it was 120, that would be exactly 12 turns before you got knights, which in BC, you could get knights. In BC is basically what I'm trying to tell you. In knights, I mean, not in knights, but in BC, you could unlock knights. Now, the reason this is so freaking devastating is most of the time, the best defensive or defense troop that most civs will have is only archers. If they're starting out with maybe, let's say, the Greeks, of course they have pikemen, but most of the time with most players, most average players, I'm not going to go off and say the most tryhard players or even good players, most of them have strats that revolve around them not getting a better troop than archers for quite a bit, So if you keep this in mind, you could easily produce 2 to 3 to 10, however many, depending on your city setup, you could produce, on average, you're going to have at least 3 knight armies by 0 AD, or at least 2 knight armies. If you don't, that is because you did something different. I'm not sure how I did it in this game, but you could have, at the minimum, at least 2 to 3 knight armies by 0 AD, and most people by 0 AD are not making that kind of tech, and it's a very great advantage if you're talking about online, but most of my videos do not relate to online, so anybody who comments, you suck, this is not for online. I wouldn't use most of these strats online, and some of them I would. I use half and half, but this is more so for people who can't beat deity, which I'm starting to see a lot more of. I did not know people can't beat deity, so I've been making these videos specifically for deity. So the way you want to start with English is very simple. It's it's just building your troops. You want to go ahead and use your custom set to build your troops every 3 turns until you get your money to make a second city. This is the most important part. You have to keep making troops until you get enough to make another city. I cannot stress that part. So what I mean by that is it's a recent strategy that I developed where you keep creating troops constantly. Like, you're constantly creating troops. Like, you're non-stop, not switching off of troops. You're just pumping out troops every single turn. The moment the game starts, you're pumping out a troop every 3 turns until you get at least enough to sell to get your second city, or until you unlock your second city. Because the way this strat works, it relies on having 2 cities pumping out science, because the way the English get their advantage is from monarch die. So you want to try to make a second city or your first city, either one, whichever you can do, by monarch die. You need to be pumping out that extra science, because as you can see, I get 5 science per monarch die. So if you get 1, that's 5 science plus whatever spots you use for science. If you get 2, that's 10 science, no library. So you can see how that could be very devastating. So if you can manage to get 1 city with 1 die and another city with 2 die, that's a total of 30. And you double that, that's a total of 60. So you can be getting 60 from 2 cities, which is really easy to get knights from that way. So that's the strat you want to go off of. You want to keep pumping out troops, and if you don't understand exactly what I mean, I'll try to clarify a little bit. So you want to make sure your production stays on warriors. You want to keep it on warriors no matter what you're doing. For the beginning half of the game, if you're exploring, making stuff, you want to keep building warriors, and you're going to keep building warriors until you have enough to sell, because you can sell your warriors by clicking on the right stick. If you click it in, it allows you to sell your troops, and each warrior sells for 10. So if you make enough to sell enough for, let's say you had no gold at all, that means you need at least 10 warriors to sell, probably 11, so you can have 1 for defense until you get your strat set up. Or you could sell all 10 and have 100 and have no defense. I mean, that's not really a smart way to go, but if you do it that way, either way, you're going to get your 100 gold to make your second city. So you want to do that and explore and find your monarch dies with the troops that you're making. So once you figure out where the whole area is mapped out, as you can see, I can tell where all the monarch dies is and where I want to make my cities to be able to effectively take over. And once I finish that, to get my second city, I use the rest of my gold to make a boat to get the wonder. So you want to do that, and that's really going to be your great start. So once you get your second city, you then want to take your second city and make sure it's on science, and go straight for, if you want to, this is my preference to go for, you want to go straight for libraries. So you need to get alphabet. So once you get alphabet, you're going to go ahead and switch off to whatever you want. In this video, I did not go straight for horseback. I did not try to get that advantage. I wanted to go for actually, honestly, I don't know what I wanted to go for. Let's see what I wanted to go for. Apparently I wanted to go for pottery. I guess I was looking at that and decided, hey, I need granary. So like I said, I'm looking at myself saying I don't think that was a great approach, but that was when I was starting back again, so I was trying to get used to everything. So you would want to go for your alphabet, and then after going for alphabet, you would want to go for something that's more efficient too. Regardless of what you go for, the thing that you need to pay attention to with this civ is you need eventually to go for knights. Now, you don't have to right off the bat. As you watch through the video, I'm at 1900 BC, and I haven't even tried to go for knights yet. Around, I would say 0 AD to 1000 BC to 0 AD is the time frame that you should naturally have knights with this civ. That's why this civ is so powerful. By 1000 BC to 0 AD, you can have knights to a knight army, to multiple knight armies. I've had a game to where it was about 2500 BC, and I had such a great start that I was already at knights by like around 2500 BC. So I was thinking, wow, this is pretty amazing. So you can really see how you can benefit. And it's not only that, they also have a great defense. Now, I've only been talking about their attack domination. Now, let's say you're trying to defend while doing domination. Well, the beautiful thing about the civ is never go for... lost my train of thought. Never go for democracy. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Unless you absolutely need it, which you most likely won't with the civ. Don't go for it, because it then replaces your best defense troops, which is archers, believe it or not, with pikemen. And the reason archers with the civ is the most amazing thing ever is because they get 1+ defense. So if you thought their knights were amazing, they also get 1+ defense on the archers. So their archers are the equivalent of pikemen. And you get, it's at a cheaper price. It takes only 10 to produce an archer, while it takes like, I think, 15 to produce a pikeman. So you could really benefit off of making archer armies rather than making pikeman armies. And it's like having the Greeks, basically. You know, it's like starting off with the Greeks, because the moment you get that barracks, I mean, not the barracks, the moment you get bronze working, you're already on your way to having a great defense. Like, there's nothing else you really need to do until they get knights, which even knights have, you know, a tough time breaking down pikemen just because they're pretty much even on throughout a fight. I don't remember the stats off head, but I believe the best knights can do off a veteran without having any special enhancements is about 18 or 21. It's one of those two attack, while the best defense that pikemen can have is around 18 or maybe higher. I think, I don't know it by heart, but it's around 18. So it's like they're kind of close to being even, or it might be a little bit more for pikemen. But this basically the point is your defense is the same as pikemen. Sorry, I don't got my number packs right, but it's the same as having defense for pikemen. So it's really a great advantage, really. If you think about it, you have your attack troops by freaking 1000 BC if you do it right, or you can have your defense troops way before that. But what I was doing in this video, just to show you guys what I had my train of thought, because it's been a while since I recorded this. I didn't have enough time to voice over to do this, but in the video I was thinking that maybe I should get a granary and build, you know, well, get the tech to build granaries, and it didn't work out. And then I thought about, okay, what about if I expand my cities to go ahead and get my science rather than going straight for knights, and then go for knights once I have more science, because I didn't like how much science I was putting out. I'm not sure how long the knights was taking, but I think, let's see, let me just watch and see what I pull up here. Okay, yeah, knights took 8 turns. I believe that's when I went for knights, because I got my yeah, that's what I was thinking. I wanted to get my second city, well, my multiple cities produced while going for knights. So I went straight for Republic to be able to produce. Actually, I forgot to change it to Republic, I believe. That was the funny thing. So you'll see that at some point throughout this video that, well, coming up, that I'll actually switch off. Like, I'll go to my city and I'll look at it trying to build a settler, and it tells me I can't build a settler. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, why can't I build a freaking settler? I just went to Republic, you know? And I had to think about it. I was like, oh no, I didn't go to Republic, which is right here. So I got really mad at myself, and I wasted 1 turn, which that kind of threw me off by a turn, but it wasn't too bad. But you remember what I told you guys, always like consider every single turn as your most important turn ever. Try your best not to mess up, and you'll have your best results ever. So really, I've covered the basic things with the English of how to dominate with the Civ. If you guys didn't get the message, then it's simple. You start out, you build your troops until you either have a second city or you have enough troops to sell to make enough to make to get your free city, your free city by gold, I should say. And then after you get your settler for that, you're gonna make your second city, and you want to have it by monarch, at least 1 die, if not 2, if you can find it, at least 1 die. The reason being is because that is going to be your science city to be able to get to knight. So you want to have your troops explore your area, find where your monarch die is, which is the safest place to go. And then once you get that all mapped out, you want to go ahead and build that second city. Go ahead and go for science, and if you have another one on your main city, it's better to have at least 10 science per turn. That's the best way I can tell you to do it. So try to have your main city by monarch die, or try to have your second city by 2 monarch dies. And if you have at least 20, go ahead and switch it off to science. You'll have your alphabet in 2 turns. Then you go ahead and build a library. Once you build your library, everything else comes very naturally and fast, and it's very easy to get your knights. You could actually probably go straight from knights with 20 tech per turn and have it in, I think, 8 turns. If you rewind the video to see how long it took and how much science I was pumping, then you will see, which it just popped up, which I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, you can pause and see how much you need, and 20 science per turn would actually get you the knights really fast. So before 0 AD, you can have knights, which I'm going to do, because in 8 turns from 1200 BC, I'm going to have the ability to create knights. I was a little off. You could do it so much better than how I did it. I messed up a lot because I was just coming back to it, trying to figure out how to play Civ. But besides that, let's go ahead and go on to the next topic of why the Civ is the most OP Civ. Now, if you thought it was just because of those 2 reasons, no, there's actually more freaking reasons why this Civ is so OP. So let's say you try to go for your early domination like I did one time. It was like one time out of like 20 games, and it did not pan out because it took you too long, and you couldn't take out every other Civ, because by the time you took out the first few Civs, the other Civ was really OP, which this was not a computer game, by the way. I've never had that problem with computers, but in an actual online game, I had a situation to where it took me to 0 AD, well, about 580, about 580 to fight somebody, the Germans, per se. Actually, they had knight armies already stacked up themselves, so they had such a better start. I had a crappy start. It took me a while to get started. Try to get my knights. I wiped out somebody else. Try to go for the Germans after wiping out the other civ. Didn't pan out too well. Long story short, I could not take them out with my early advantage of knights because it wasn't a great start for me. But I came across the third advantage, which really helped me take over that game, that the English have, which is their double naval support. So if you followed my earlier videos, you know about naval support and how it increases your troops. Well, the thing about the English is they get double that naval support. So theoretically speaking, if you were to have a full, let's say, veteran fleet of cruisers, that would give you plus 15 times 2, which is 30. So with that in mind, if you had one warrior, your one warrior would have at least 31 attack, 31 defense. So with that in mind, you can already see how devastating that can be if you put that on an actual good troop like knights. That would be if you had a normal 18 attack plus 38 is 48. That's the strength of a freaking tank army right there. So you could understand with the English how that turned the game around. So the Germans didn't pan out too well against that either. So, you know, even with their stacked up armies, the double naval support really threw them off and they couldn't handle it, and that gave me the overrun advantage, and I took them out as well. So those are the three key things with this civ that makes them so OP in war: is their early advantage of getting knights before AD, their amazing defense for freaking English archers, and as well their double naval support. Now they do have another advantage which isn't really for war, it's just I guess for extra oomph to the equation. You have your 1+ production from heals. So that happens around, I think, the industrial area. I believe it's in the industrial. If not, it's medieval. I cannot remember exactly when it is. It's somewhere in there in the lineup. I didn't really look at it, so you guys can check that out. But their 1+ heal from the 1+ heal production makes them very efficient when it comes to settling by hills, because that makes it the same as having trees, and then you can turn that you can turn it into, I think, double that with a workshop, either double or it gives you one of the two. But either way, it still adds on a crap ton of production, and you're just high rolling in production as well, pumping out knights. You have 1+ defense on your archers, and you have double naval support at some point in the game. So with all that put together, this is why the English are the most OP civ. Now, with that all covered and good, the rest of this video is just going to be me playing, showing you how it could be where, well, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. I'm just like losing my train of thought. Ugh. It's basically going to show you how I won with the English. So you can watch this and just learn what I was doing. If it's going too fast, you can slow it down. Artards who don't realize you can press the slow down button, not for talking, but for trying to see what somebody's clicking on. You can do that. I mean, I don't think people would want to, most people that are very normal would want to see a video that is slowed down by 2 times speed or whatever. So you could slow it down on YouTube, which is a great feature. So if it feels like the game is going too fast, you could definitely slow it down and watch the gameplay without the voice going at 2 miles per hour trying to explain everything, you know, or talk over the video. So at this point, at some point around this point, at that point that makes this the point, I'm going to actually cut my audio off and let you guys enjoy the rest of the gameplay. If not, if you were just here to understand why the English are so OP and get a little demonstration of it, then you can go ahead, click off. But I really encourage you to see how I played and how I beat this civ, because it was a great achievement indeed. Not really. It was a very slow-paced game. It should have been over a long time ago. So if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, a comment, or a subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And I don't know if you guys really enjoyed this type of gameplay style. I did this with GTA and kind of realized it was a little bit easier, which I won't do all my videos like this, of course, but I realized it was a little bit easier to explain things and make sure I didn't miss anything throughout the video by playing a gameplay and then recording over it. I think I like the style. I don't know if you guys like the style, but if you like the style, you know, let me know. Yeah, do more videos like this, or, you know, hey, you weren't as informative, or this wasn't as interesting, or whatever you want to say, let me know. I accept all types of comments. I don't try to remove any comments unless they're you know completely spam, which I've been getting a lot of those lately, just random spam about random spam, or if it's something very offensive to people, no offensive comments. I can't allow offensive comments. But if you're just trying to express your opinion, even those that say, hey, you suck, bro, I welcome your comments, because I just want to know your feedback, and also I appreciate you giving me a view. I appreciate your time of watching my videos to at least say I suck. I appreciate that. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. If you guys always like I say, like, subscribe, and share, and comment as well. This has been Chris with Tryhard Affinity, and I will see you guys later.
Oh, Nam. Stab. Ito? Stab. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, Oh, Volum phonum. Uashum. Key rain. Yabble stab.
Kees aan daar liep je door. Even. Kees aan daar liep je door. Ngồi sạc lại thì F.
Wobbly. Wabzoo. Oh.
Ovdi.
Ngồi sạc lại thì Kees aan daar. Kees aan. Ngồi sạc. Kees aan daar liep je door. Dubbe. Ach, van kraam. Teembe. Oh, just you.
Wabzoo. Oh.
Nyap.
Wobble. Yabble stab.
Зой. Овди. Бро. Nyap. Бро.
phong sa.
Hooey. Wabazoo. Yabbles. Oh.
Potomas apularum. Namos. Nelekan. Nelekan. Verutumo. C'est ouvert. C'est les sous-sauts. Verutumo. Il plaît. Mon V. C'est ouvert. Ah. Il plaît. Mon V. Verutumo.
Extra. Keisan. Nga mo sa kahing. Fa phong sa.
Wabazoo. Follow 'em. Own 'em, Ah. Ho. Phone 'em.
Keisan dahil libidod.
Quintarum. C'est ouvert. Ah. C'est ouvert. Verutumo. Il plaît. Maintenant. C'est ouvert. Verutumo.
Hooey.
C'est ouvert. Vers où tout mort. Vers où tout. C'est ouvert. Et plaît mon V. Pardon. C'est ouvert. Vers où tout mort. Préféré. C'est ouvert. Vers où tout mort.
Oh! Onum. Ah! Ho! Follow, follow.
C'est ouvert. Et pas mon prénom d'amour.
Wow, but why is it? Oh! Yeah, but oh! Wabblish. Wabzoo.
Etompa. Keisanda.
Wabzoo. Yabble. Haroo. Yabble stab. Haroo. Wabzoo.
Ronta. Ovare. Bot. Ronta.
Yabble stab. Yow.
Hello, Mamo.
Follow. Haroo. Wabzoo.
Oh, just. Ronta.
Wabzoo. Oh. Wow. Wow. Hooey.
Kumtam.
Ho.
Keisan.
Fem. Onum group.
Kumtam.
Oh.
Keisan.
Wabba.
Effa.
Key ring. Follow. Hooey. Key ring. Onum group. Yabble stab.
just
Hooey.
oh, just
Follow, follow. Key Ram Winham. Hooey.
extra. Ngồi sạch lại. Cái gì đó? F. C'est ouvert. Ah,
Rainbow Namo.
Key Ram Winham. Wallop. Hooey. Whoa. Key Ram. Hip Wallop Follum. Onum Group.
Rainbow Namo.
les bamons. Vers où tu manges? Les nuits. Les bamons. C'est ouvert. Ah.
Kees aan dagen liep je dood.